Good evening, folks. This is Darth Rabbit 07 comes to you today with another quick review. Rewind the clocks back about a week. Went to Target, found something. Rewind the clocks back 3 more weeks, and on vacation, all this micro galaxy Squadron stuff started showing up. People were finding Wedge and the N1 Starfighter, and I finally got my hands on the Gold Eater Y-Wing, and I'm so happy to bring it to you today. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down in the description below. Thank you again to all those who have subscribed. Let's get this turned around and take a look at Gold Eater up close. Thanks again for watching. And there is Gold Eater on the turntable, looking awesome in this packaging. Series 4 right there on the side. You have John Vander and R2BHD droid in there. The attention to detail on these things are totally outstanding. We'll take a closer look at that in a minute. You got it where you put the droid down inside of the back. You got some assembly required there. You have actual dropping bombs there, and play features and retractable landing gear. All big pluses in my book. And those that want to make it, you know, have these little things on file cards later, these are actually the holograms, blueprints of the ship that you have here in the box. And cross sales, this guy's not showed up yet, but I've got this guy already reviewed, and I'm looking for Wedge and this other fella. When it's a chase, it's going to be not a great pursuit, but probably an expensive purchase on eBay for me if I complete the set. Pause and scan here for looking in your store nearby, brick and mortar. I truly am pumped to have this in hands. Let's crack this thing open carefully and take a look at those little miniature figures and the ship. Starting off, we got John Vander and R2 in their little neat little, I guess, Sergeant Slaughter-esque packaging. I like that they do this. I love that we got hologram blueprints of them as well, and as for the ship, this can be hung on to like in a little plastic baggie if you don't have these guys in the ship, but I'll more likely have these in the ship on the turntable. We're gonna get them out of box. We're gonna take a closer look at John Vander first here, and just the paint and detail work on this is absolutely incredible, guys. I am loving every bit of this. I mean, look at the top of that right there. Boom. And there you go. Look how nice that is. Now it has 2 points of articulation. You got the seated leg thing going on, and you got the arms together on the same. That's when we raise one, raise both, and it's mainly made to get inside of that awesome ship right there. We'll get out of the box in a second. Let's take a quick look at R2 for John. And while this thing may have less paint than R2-D2, it still is very highly detailed, and customizers can probably take and like deck that on it. Oh, I had it even backwards, so there you go. It's very, I've done it well. You probably give it another black wash and clean this on up and make it totally movie accurate. So let's go ahead and get R2 set back down on the table. Let's get that ship out of the plastic. Before we go and like put it all together, I just wanted to show off how beautiful that black wash looks on this stuff. So I kind of like wish the droid come like this to begin with, and it's absolutely amazing. So we're going to get this clipped onto the fuselage, which has got that same knot. Look at that, guys. The details just absolutely pop on this, and for the very friendly budget price of, I think it's 14 that these are going for, I highly recommend this. I mean, this is awesome. Look at that cockpit open up. Boom. And look at the detail in the cockpit. I mean, that is absolutely outstanding work there, Jazzwares. Keep this up, please. And I bet you this thing, oh, it does. It rotates. Oh my goodness, guys. It's so awesome. The ion cannon rotates. And we'll get the droid fit in there. Let's get this together real quick before I nerd out super big all over myself here. And give me just a second, I'm gonna do it off camera. A particular note, folks, when you go to assemble this thing's aiming down into it, and you got to get this oriented just right where it's going down inside of the thing there, and then just kind of click it together there. Boom. There you go, guys. That looks pretty good, I think. Let's get the rest of it built. And another thing I want to point out is if you don't got it oriented correctly, you will not get it flush like you see us so right here. So here again, before I start doing it, there's that little thing and how it's oriented. And then, so then you got this guy right here. It's got the other indentation right there to the right. Just want to point that out so folks don't mess up their nice ships. Should look a lot like that configuration right there. And guys, this is just like a scene out of Star Wars. Look at that. That is so incredible. Thank you, Jazzwares, for giving us something just as awesome, friendly to room size and everything. I absolutely adore this. Another thing I wanted to show off real quick is that this thing does have retractable landing gear, guys. Just kind of easily pop that on out there. And then these guys come back right here. So you've got retractable landing gear, because it does not come with a display stand. And Jazzwares are killing me with not having a display stand, but you also got the artwork that you can do there. So you can like do little poses and what have you and have that background. This is always a welcome thing. Though, well, but not how I would display it downstairs in the cave there. So, or you can even have it come back across the sky like this. So then you got, boom, you got that going on. People that are a lot more craftier at photography than me will have a field day with this. And just look at the detail on that fuselage there. That's so cool. All right, guys, let's get it on the turntable. Or actually, let's go ahead and get the figures in here. Let's go ahead and put the R2 in to his happy home there. And if this is like the other stuff I've had so far for the droids, you'll have a way to pop this out a little bit later. But right now it sits down in there. And does it mash up? Yep, it mashes up and like pops right on off, guys. So you can make a droid squeal if you want to. Wow! It's pathetic, Mike. Anyway, it sits down in there, fits firmly, and doesn't shake out. Let's get Mr. John Vander in there real quick. Let me get his arms oriented before we get going on in there. And these things are so tiny, guys. I shouldn't even be doing this out here on the back deck, but it's not Yoda small, and all the same. Boom. So you got John Vander piloting Gold Eater there, and boom, he's in there looking awfully awesome. So that you got the ion cannon there, you got these guys right up here in the front. I don't think they got any articulation whatsoever, none whatsoever there. This does articulate ever so slightly in each direction, so you can go pew pew pew, bang bang bang, pew pew pew, bang bang bang. And there's supposed to be a way to drop some bombs out of the front of that, and where the bombs are just in there. So you got your bombs for the bombing runs that Y-Wings do. I could have swore they would have added some sort of little feature. Oh, nope, that's the cockpit. So anyway, you got bombs that can come on down out of there. Like I said, these are all first impressions. I don't watch the other ones that I've seen out there and what have you. But let's get into some measurements real quick here, guys. Thanks again for watching. From the front gun to the rear is about 7.5 inches there, guys. From front landing claw to the top with the gun, clearance or height is about 1.5 inches high, and width is about 4 inches wide. So that's your display space there for that guy. Goldwings R2 is about a little over 1/2 inch there, and Mr. Vander is right at 1 inch tall there. And that's about the only way I can get him to stands with that, because as soon as I take this up, he falls down. That all said and done, let's get him back in the vehicle and give you another look here on the turntable before we call it all done. I just love the detail work. I love the landing gear. The only thing I wish that it could have to make it better is the flight stand. And I'm going to find some flight stands and hopefully get them out there. I'm not crafty like these other 3D printing guys and can make that stuff to make this stuff even shine better. Hoping that Jazzwares changes this and start selling the figures and the ships here with the flight stands. I think it would be just a huge plus. And sorry about shaking the table like that like crazy. Let's get into some final thoughts, guys. Some final thoughts on the Y-Wing. Once again, Jazzwares has managed to pack in a lot of detail into a tiny space at a market-friendly price for those that are looking to collect their Star Wars vehicles and their favorite little figurines in the micro size for, like I said, a really, really friendly price there. It's a little bit out of control with the vintage collection vehicles here lately. I have like the Slave One, I've got Anakin's Clone Wars ship and Anakin's Jedi Starfighter vintage class. And I may or may, now that I got the N1 from the Jazzwares, I'm really contemplating on canceling pre-order for the N1. I might still get the N1 because it's Mando and it's like one of my favorite series, but these guys right here are both, you know, economy sized, friendly to smaller environments or any collection rooms, man caves, that kind of thing, and don't take up a lot of space, look really good. And if you're a fan of Star Wars like I am, this is a no-brainer, guys. I should have been collecting this since August of 2022. I've only been doing it since January of 2023, and I've missed out on some of those chases as they got released last year. And I could have swore I had Sabine's and Hera's ships in my hand, but I'm so grateful to have John Vander and his R2 unit, a leader, gold leader here, looking really snazzy in his Y-wing, and makes me want to go back and watch the movies once again. So all that nostalgia in the feels, I highly recommend this for any Star Wars fan, especially the fans of A New Hope or anything original trilogy there. You can't go wrong with it. Thanks again for watching. May you guys have an excellent week out there, and may the Force be with you always, guys. Thanks again.